Get in there. There we have it, people. Newcastle 2, Spurs 1. Wasn't quite the 6-1 of recent seasons or the 4-0 of last year, but it was a massive, valuable 3 points. That sees Newcastle going to 4th in the league. We're still here at St. James's Park. Players have just walked off. Fans are just leaving now. And listen, it wasn't pretty. Wasn't great. Especially the second half. The second half was a tough watch. Newcastle kind of fortunate in the end. Difference being Alexander Isak, to be honest with you. The difference being having someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. Listen, Spurs were decent today, a lot better than they have been in previous games, but Newcastle went at it again. But I have to say, this is class. This is brilliant. Give me it. Do you know what I mean? We have 3 games into the Premier League season, unbeaten, 4th in the table, winning games, making sure we don't get beat like we did against Bournemouth last week, avoiding that, getting a draw, coming away from it with a result, and not playing that well. It's a reoccurring theme, this, of starting the game strong, stamping our authority over it, having a 1 or 2 chances, but not capitalising on it. We've never really dominated the game, but we remind ourselves 1-0 up. We are 1-0 up there in the first half there, thanks to Harvey Barnes. Great finish from him. I thought Barnes, Gordon and Isak did really well together. That has to be the front 3 going forward. Obviously, we haven't strengthened in the transfer window, so those 3 starting as the front 3 is an absolute must. Sam Tonali didn't start the game. Tonali didn't start. It was Longstaff in the middle. I think going forward, it has to be Tonali, doesn't it? You know, it has to be Willock if he was fit, but it has to be Tonali, Bruno and Joe Linton. It wasn't. Longstaff comes in. Kelly came in for Lewis Hall, who looked a bit shaky at Forest. Kelly came in. I thought he had a good enough game. Kraft again today. Tell you what, we save ourselves 70 million on Marquee when you've got £2 million Swedish Krafu, the right back turned centre back. He was absolutely class for us again. He really was. He was brilliant. And then right back Tino Livramento, who stepped in for Trippier, who replaced him during the week. So Truth didn't even get off the bench against his former side. But you have to say we were, do I say deserved of a win? I think probably just about deserved of a win, I would say. Spurs fans probably argue the case of a draw, but you have to say that their goal in that second half was honking. It was a disgraceful goal for us to concede. I don't know what Nick Pope is doing. Nick Pope there just pushes straight out to them, and then it's an easy goal which Dan Burn happily assists. I don't think it's even going in until Dan Burn smashes it into his own net. Oh my god, I don't know what Dan Burn is doing there, smashing it into his own net to make it 1-1. But Newcastle thankfully had a game changer in Alexander Isak and Jacob Murphy. Murphy, who loves the game against Spurs, obviously scored against them the last couple of times. He came off the bench on the right wing, and it was a brilliant counter-attack by Newcastle. Spurs were the better side in that second half until we scored. We had the counter. Murphy very unselfishly laid it off to Isak, who slotted it home, couldn't miss. He was onside. And that's ultimately been the difference there at the end of the game, really. If Spurs had an Isak, if Spurs had a 60 million striker, if Spurs had someone, well, they do, the Dominic Solanke, they paid 65 million for him. Wasn't fit today, thankfully. So I think Solanke's alright. Listen, he hasn't started off his best career at Spurs, but you know, if they had someone like him today, a bit of a poacher, a bit of a goal scorer, maybe could have been a different story. Thankfully not, and Isak was the one that buried it for us. I have to say, even though Spurs huffed and puffed, Pope made 1 or 2 saves. They did hit the bar before they scored. Questions got to be asked. Obviously, Newcastle had been targeting Trafford all summer, even deadline day. We're meant to be signing a keeper, we're meant to be signing Trafford. Pope, man, we know he's such a good shot stopper. He proved that later on with a strike from Maddison, I think it was. But from his feet, he is awful. Terrible. Booting it out in the stands all the time, giving it away. Can't play with his feet at all, Nick Pope. Really bad. Dan Burn, I think, had a bad game. Obviously, the own goal didn't help. But even before that, I thought he wasn't that great, even though he looked good the last couple of weeks. But Kraft, again, his partner, saved him. Tino was very good. Like Kelly was good enough. And, you know, nothing spectacular, but nothing bad. Midfield, I thought Bruno and Jordan had a quiet game. To be honest with you, I didn't think we were winning that midfield battle that well, especially Pepe Saw for Spurs, I thought was doing well. Wouldn't really win that midfield too much. I think Tonali was needed. I think I would have started with Tonali. You'll check out the vlog. Brilliant scenes and flags from War Flags, getting the atmosphere going back in Sandro today. 316 days, I think it was, we have waited to see the return of Sandro. So it's amazing to see him back in Premier League action, back at St James's Park. As you can see behind me there, winding down. A bit dark from that angle, so it won't stay here, but you'll see some players come out soon for a cool down. But listen, I'm buzzing. I think it's class because we've managed to get ourselves 3 points. You know, that's 7 points from a possible 9. International break now. We're top 4 as it stands before the Man U Liverpool game, without actually playing that well. And we haven't played tough opposition until today. Well, Bournemouth away is always a tricky game, especially with Eddie Howe's relationship with them, if you like. You know, he hasn't beaten them yet at their place. So I think Southampton at home, we won it with 10 men, great. Bournemouth got a draw when we played bad. Got some VAR look at the end of it, good. And today, started so strongly. Yet again, starting the game so strongly, having the chances, leaving it out a bit, not really dominating, not really getting a hold of the games, controlling games. We're struggling to really control games. But then second half, Spurs come back with an awful own goal from us, even though they deserved it. It was coming. But then it's a counter-attack. It's an Isak finish. And it's 2-1 Newcastle. And it's a win. It's a big win. It felt like this place needed a win today. It needed a lift. We know the Saudi Arabian owners have been here today. Our chairman, Yasser Al-Ramian, was in attendance among a couple of others. And we needed that. I think the place needed a lift. We just about got it. There was some nervy moments, there were some touchy moments. But we got the win. Got the 3 points, and we can all go home happy now and celebrate with Sunday. International break now, which will do us well, I think. Give us a bit of breathing space, give us a bit of time to refocus, settle, sort things out in the training ground for the players that aren't on international duty, and come back with Man City, the next game here at St James's Park at the end of the month. Feels mad since September already. I think time's flying. But before that, we've got a monumental week. A monumental week of away days. We've got Wolves in the league. We've got Wimbledon in the cup. And then we've got Fulham away, I believe, is the 3 fixtures before we do host Haaland's high-flying City here before that one. But no, listen, we've obviously a good record. We've got a good performance level against Man City. We were unlucky last year, I think, to lose against them. And then obviously that 3-3 draw a couple of seasons back. But listen, it was good to get back to St James's Park today. It was good to just focus on the footballs. That wasp lingers around me. I don't want to get stung. That would ruin my day. But Newcastle thankfully didn't get stung today. We hung on for the 3 points. We got the 3 points. We got the goals that mattered. I thought Barnes, Gordon, Isak looked a real threat going forward. I really want to see that Tonali, Bruno and Joe Linton midfield solidify, start every week, get into a rhythm of things. The defence is still a bit all over the place. Like I said, well done to Kraft today. I thought he was really, really good. Tino at right back was much better than having at the start of the season, kept Trippier out the side. The left back position hasn't really sorted itself out. You know, Lewis Hall and Lloyd Kelly are swapping between each other. But then Dan Burn was poor today, poor goal to concede that one. Nick Pope as well, suspect. But we've got out of a turbulent summer. Now it's September. The business end, not the business end, obviously that's April, May. The business is beginning. It's a long old season ahead, many more games to go, but we've got ourselves in a very good position. The top 4 as it stands, unbeaten, without playing anywhere near our best, as you can see over my shoulder. Just about maybe, you can see Lewis Hall there, cooling down, putting some more work in with a couple of more Newcastle United players. And that's William Asula there as well, who's yet to make his Premier League debut for Newcastle. But it's finished 2-1 here at St James's Park. People, a valuable, massive 3 points for the Mags. Drop your thoughts below, everyone. Subscribe to my channel TV and enjoy yourself.